community that I try to associate with all of the Muslim community of Atlanta. I try to have my face in as many places as possible because this is the way that we destroy some of the stereotypes that different people have about different people. But if one had to place me someplace, I would be placed at the Al Farouk Masjid of Atlanta, which is the largest masjid. We're in the project of completing our masjid project. It's multifaceted. We have the masjid, we have the school, the Darul Nur, we have the school for the Hifz of Quran, Darul Ulum. So that is the effort. As far as my involvement in the community, I was one of the founding members of the community there in Atlanta. And since 1980, I've sat on the board of trustees of Al Farouk Masjid. So I'm on a day-to-day basis involved in the, not so much the running, but at least the decision-making of policies and what direction the institution will take.
So do you see that the leadership of the masjid has involved people from all the demographics which make up the community in the decision-making processes?
That is one of the unique characteristics of Al Farouk. In our community, we have, in terms of the congregation or the Jama'ah, we have people from just about every country on the planet. Within the administration, in the board, we have a diverse membership in the board. You have Arabs, you have Pakistanis, you have Indian, you have African American, you have African, so we try to have a diverse mixture of people in order that if there's something that I may miss that may be sensitive to a Pakistani brother or an Indian brother or to a Syrian brother, then if there's someone from that particular community present at the decision-making table, then they can interject and say, look, this would be repulsive to the Syrian community. This would be repulsive to the Indian community.
Okay, okay. Before we conclude this segment of the interview, I just want to ask you, in your 34 years of being Muslim, what do you feel is the future outlook for Islam here in America?
I think that the one thing that will solve many of the social and political problems in the American society is Islam. Why? Because Islam teaches us that there's no superiority over the white. There is no superiority over the black. There's no superiority of the Chinese over the Indian. And Islam teaches us that everyone is equal. The only thing that makes one person better than another is his fear and his God consciousness. So the practicing of Islam here will destroy the institutions of pornography. It will destroy the institutions of fornication. It will destroy the institutions of alcoholism, of drug addiction, of adultery. And if we just do those things, the society will become a much better place to live.
The brother Bilal, he has a civil rights case. As an American citizen, he has his rights as any other citizen, and is pending with the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And we're going to discuss that case with him, but we need to be joined by his attorney to do that one. I'm back now with Brother Bilal Mahmoud and his attorney, Stephen Katz. Thank you for joining us. And as I mentioned earlier, Bilal Mahmoud, he has a case which is pending with a what they call a cert application with the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And I'm going to ask Mr. Stephen Katz just to tell us a bit about what the case is and how it's reached this level where you have a cert application with the Supreme Court.
Mr. Mahmoud came to see me a couple of years ago, and he had been a citizen of the United States for his entire life. In fact, Mr. Mahmoud's ancestors in the United States go back long before mine and long before most people. They go back to the 1700s. Mr. Mahmoud served in Vietnam, on behalf of the United States. He served in the U.S. military. He's been a loyal citizen, and not only a loyal citizen, but a very productive citizen in terms of giving to the poor, being very productive in his work, raising children, giving to the community. In fact, I don't have a finer client than Mr. Mahmoud.
But let me ask you, Mr. Katz, when Mr. Mahmoud approached you to take his case, what was the process you went through before accepting his case?
I went and I investigated Mr. Mahmoud. I checked the events that he said happened to them. I didn't take it for granted that they had happened. I went and I investigated them, and I found out that they were consistent. In fact, every single thing that Mr. Mahmoud told me was the absolute truth, down to the smallest detail. And after that, I extensively interviewed Mr. Mahmoud. I met with his wife, interviewed his wife. I interviewed attorneys for the opposing parties. I looked at records. I looked at media reports of the incident. And I concluded that there was a grave violation of Mr. Mahmoud's civil rights in this country. And I was determined to take the case to redress that violation.
Okay, can you give us some background on exactly what the case is?
Yes, Mr. Mahmoud, for 21 years, 22 years, has driven a long-haul large truck here in the United States. In order to do so, you must have what's called a hazardous materials endorsement. Even if you want to transmit or transport batteries or fertilizer or ordinary things, you must have this hazardous materials permit. Well, one day they came in and without a trial, without a hearing, without an investigation, simply removed this hazardous materials endorsement from Mr. Mahmoud, just took it away. No due process whatsoever. And of course, Mr. Mahmoud could not perform his job without this hazardous materials permit. And so after 21 years, they destroyed his entire career.
And what they did, do they have the right to do that?
They have absolutely no right to do that whatsoever. Not only did they do that without any right whatsoever, the evidence, all of the evidence indicates that it was racially motivated because he's a Muslim. And that's the only reason. And what is also shocking in this case is that after they did this, they refused to acknowledge the error, they refused to return his hazardous materials permit, they refused to provide any compensation, and they continued the discrimination. It continues to this day. To this day, Mr. Mahmoud cannot enter an airplane or try to enter an airplane in the United States without a full search and a series of humiliating questions. Mr. Mahmoud cannot drive the highways of this country without being stopped by a police officer simply because his name is in some database, and have his truck searched, have his body searched, have a humiliation on the highway.
Can I just ask you, what are the ramifications of having your name in this database? And is there some process to investigate the people put on this list, or is it just an arbitrary type of action?
Completely arbitrary. We've asked, and we've asked, and we've asked. And what they say, the excuse is, well, it's national security. Well, we don't understand how it could be national security when Mr. Mahmoud has been a citizen all his life, when he served in the military, when he's been a loyal citizen, when he's paid every dollar of tax that he's supposed to pay on time, when he's never had even a parking permit or even been warned or reprimanded by a supervisor. This is a model citizen. You can't imagine what a finer person or a person of more integrity than Mr. Mahmoud. And so there's absolutely no rationale for it. None whatsoever. So now he has this mark of Cain where every time a cop stops him, it's the same process. I'll give you an example.